Hello everybody, hello. Welcome back, my name's No Aloha. We're playing Arkham Horror the card game. We're up to part 7 now, gosh. Chapter 2, The Midnight Masks. We are about to flip Agenda 1 and see what's on the reverse of this card finally. After all my cryptic mumblings about what's going to happen. I'm sure most of you know, because I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. Yeah. I think... put you back. So we decided to keep... I'm umming and ahhing over whether I made the right choice there at the end of the last video. I think purely for card replacement, one of the 2 skill cards might have been more worthwhile. I just feel like I haven't really got the economy going for Wendy, but then what's the use of resources with nothing to spend them on? But we'll stick with the choice we made. After the effect of the treachery card has done its damage on the board, treacheries are discarded. Right. We just jump straight into the investigator phase. No. We're not going to jump straight into the investigation phase. As much as I would love to do that, we are going to jump into the mythos phase. First thing we do, let's give everything its shuffle. We only have 2 cultists left in the deck. Give the chaos bag a shuffle. Right then, let's do this. Tick it up. We check for the value and we note that it is matching. We have hit our timer for Agenda 1. So what's on the rear side of this? Oh, Lord, you look at that. It's not perhaps what you were expecting. So, just a little quirk of Tabletop Simulator and how it handles objects, models. This is in landscape mode as a card. So when we flip this over and use our card zoom, it is going to come up in landscape mode. Not much we can do about that, sadly. I will have to use the magnifying glass kind of option. So, what are we looking at? This pig-masked fellow looks like something out of Hotline Miami, perhaps. The Masked Hunter. 4/4/2, except he's not a 4/4/2. He has... well, let's deal with the 4/4/2 first. You'll note the Masked Hunter gets +2 health per investigator. So in terms of stats, it is 4/8/2. You have to do 8 damage to defeat this. Not too difficult to evade, though, just 2 difficulty. While you are engaged with the Masked Hunter, you cannot discover or spend clues. That wouldn't impact on Roland's ability, for example. His special ability triggers after you defeat an enemy, and once this enemy is defeated, its text no longer impacts on the game state. So the timing would be, we would defeat, hopefully, Roland would defeat the Masked Hunter, it would leave the play area, and we could use his after you defeat an enemy. And we can still grab a clue after we defeat the Masked Hunter, is basically what I'm saying. I think one of the most interesting things about the Masked Hunter is this way that it links its spawn and prey together. It has prey most clues. Currently, both investigators have 1 clue. So in a tiebreaker situation such as that, Roland, as the lead investigator, gets to decide. And then it actually spawns engaged with its prey target. So we can choose where it spawns and who it spawns on. And as we discussed, we need to give Roland just 1 more turn, just so he can whip out his big old shotgun and maybe, I don't know, he could even... no, we won't have the resources. I definitely want to be using some of these cards because he's spending so many of his actions actually doing things. But yes, we're going to spawn the hunter on poor old Wendy down here, who is not equipped to defeat the Masked Hunter in the slightest. However, she is more than capable of just slipping through his legs and running away. As long as because it's a hunter, as long as we keep 2 locations in front of it, it can't actually catch Wendy. And she is quite fast at the moment with her Leo. So that's the situation there. Just to check the second agenda card, nothing much to see, it's exactly the same as the first, except now we have a total of 8. We clear this from 0 and we can get rid of this Doom token also that is currently sitting on Victoria. No more Doom tokens, nope. This is just a bit more... the agenda essentially is representing, if you remember, the chapter's called The Midnight Masks. The idea here The idea here is that we find as many cultists as we can before the clock strikes midnight. So that's what that 8 is now. We don't want to be here if the clock strikes midnight. We want to be using this resign action that we can always take as an action before this hits 8. So it's just about managing how fast you think the doom clock might accelerate and jumping out when you feel is most beneficial. Right then. We still need to draw and counter cards. This will, for what is going quite well so far, this will determine whether this is a resounding success of a turn or if it gets a bit messy. So, what's going to happen to Roland? Crypt Chill. Not so bad. Worst comes to worst, we would discard Machete here. We don't need it to kill any more monsters, and we are going to get our shotgun out. So, we don't need to, seeing as we were going to discard this anyway, probably as a first action even, we will obviously pull from the Chaos Bag because there are negative impact tokens in there, but we're not going to commit anything to this. We will save our guts here for the possibility of another Crypt Chill popping out, which might force us to discard between Beat Cop or our shotgun. So we will just throw our willpower of 3 against this difficulty 4. How many clues are on our location currently? The 1, so a Elder Sign token would be a +1. It's a mine, that's a 0. That is 0 right now. Which is to say we fail. But yes, it is 0. I don't know where my mind was there. So we fail, and we have to discard an asset. We will discard our Machete. And we can see what happens with Wendy. Wendy has On Wings of Darkness. Interesting. That is fairly... That might be superb, actually. We cannot opt to fail this. We do have to test agility. If we fail, we'll take 1 damage and 1 horror. Isn't so bad for Wendy right now. She's still doing fine. We can drop the horror on Leo, take 1 pip on the health clock. But then we would actually automatically disengage from the Masked Hunter and move 1 location away. Essentially, at the cost of a piece of damage on us, we would get a head start in our bid to run away from this horrible thing, and we wouldn't have to bother evading it either. I'm actually hoping we fail. But you can't... I don't think you can play the game in such a way that you... We could actually trigger this. We're not going to, because we need cards right now. But there's nothing saying that you can only do this on a failed test. You could pass the test on a test that you want to fail and try again in an attempt to fail the test. We'll just take the agility. It's 0 versus 0. So any skull icons would actually be a pass right now. That is 0 modifier, so we do pass. That's a shame, actually. I would have gladly taken that little pip of damage. So we did pass our Wings of Darkness test. And we still have to deal with this. Spend an action on evade, spend an action on move. So that would have saved us 2 actions. Wow. Right. Well, let's all breathe a sigh of relief, shake it all out. Right, we are still on track then for dealing with this. At this point then, Roland, let's just see whether it matters the order here. Roland is going to heal up for 3. He's going to equip a shotgun, and then perhaps he would move back into Miskatonic. Or would he try and grab this clue? What is Wendy going to do? Wendy is going to evade, first of all. And gosh, if she fails that evasion, well, she just... I don't know whether to save a... I guess it might be worth saving one of these for what if we pull terribly twice from the Chaos Bag. We need 2 movement actions. Or worst comes to worst, the Masked Hunter comes up to us and attacks us. It's going to deal 2 damage and 1 sanity, so that wouldn't be the end of the world either. I think we try and grab this clue after the evasion. We'll try an evasion. We haven't got anything to commit. It is 4 versus 2, I believe. Agility 4, difficulty 2. So -2s or better. That is a -3. If you fail, oh no, that's the worst possible. That is not what we want to be doing right now. I am going to re-roll that. I'm going to throw my emergency cash into the discard pile, because I really do not want that result. That is fine. So we pass. We have no cards in our hand now whatsoever, but we have managed to evade the Masked Hunter, and it is currently up here. As a second action, we are going to attempt to grab this clue. That is 0 currently, so that is a pass, and we gain this clue. And then fourth actions, we run away. We're not going to go this way because there is one of our unique cultists over here. We're going to run to Central, and then we are going to run over to Miskatonic. We are now 2 locations away from the Hunter, and we can essentially forget about it for 1 turn, because it is only going to move 1 location. Is it wise for Wendy to move here, or should she move here? In the next encounter phase, there is a possibility of things like the locked door popping up. There is the possibility of obscuring fog popping up, and we have only 8 cards left in there. I actually think I have Wendy stick around here. It's arguably action inefficiency, but this seems like a better way to mitigate fairly, I mean, I would put it at maybe 25% in there, that it would have some negative impact on Miskatonic University, and we want to try and grab these clues. That's a victory point if we can get them. So yeah, that's how we're going to do Wendy. Roland then, first action, he is going to heal up for 3 at last. Second action, he is going to spend 5 resources and equip a shotgun. Just 2. Then, do we just make a bid to getting ammunition out as soon as possible so we don't have to deal with it with enemies in our threat area? I think that is the strongest option. Yes, that would probably make the most sense. We spend the third action getting a resource so that during the upkeep of this turn we get the second resource and we can equip this, we can use this next turn. This also keeps us in St. Mary's Hospital, again for similar reasons to Wendy. Should an obscuring fog or a locked door pop up, I'm not too concerned, because I would rather get these 2 clues than this clue. And perhaps we'll try to aim to bring the Masked Hunter over here for the defeat. We can grab one of these clues that way. And then Roland with a 5 ammo shotgun can just swing around here, blasting these enemies. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Enemies in the enemy phase. The Hunter doesn't do anything this turn because it is exhausted. You get a 1 turn's worth of respite from it. So, I may have been wrong actually. Was that a misunderstanding of how? Yeah, I think you wouldn't have to move. You wouldn't have to move 2 locations away because it's exhausted when the Hunter moves. So you actually give yourself an extra whole lot of actions. Oh, yes, that's good to know actually. That is very good to know. Miscalculated how the timing works in the turn. So Wendy would have been fine if she just hung out in Central there. She could have even hung out in central and perhaps drawn a card. That would have been more optimal, I think. Right, we want to be drawing some cards, do we not? Roland draws into vicious blow or evidence, please. Dodge. I don't think we'll keep that. That might actually help with just mitigating perhaps an attack of opportunity. Buy us an extra turn against the masked hunter, should we do poorly with our shotgun. As powerful, potentially, as the shotgun is, it does rely, as everything kind of does for the most part, on the chaos bag draws. I was going to draw another card there. That's not what we do. We want to gain our second resource, so we can stock up on ammunition. And we'll go over to Wendy. And let's start building your hand back up. Look what I found. That could be very useful, actually. We could try doing that on the university, even, and see if we can bag those clues that way. It might be worth just keeping that in our hand in case we have a situation where we unfortunately drop clues. This might be a nice way to grab 2 of them back. We'll see. Gain a resource. That's the end of that turn. So we're into another fresh turn. Oh, we need to obviously refresh the masked hunter. He is looking around him bewildered. Where did she go? Where did she go? Okay. Next turn. Mythos phase. We'll do Roland first, and he draws. Second crypt chill. Okay, so this is why we kept the guts. We are so very much throwing this at you, and I may even throw this unexpected courage at this also. Could throw dodge. Let's look at some numbers. We want to pass this. I don't want to lose beat cop at all. Willpower 3. Willpower modified to 5, so that's not nearly enough yet. We are throwing more at this. I think we do throw this at it. This is arguably very, very important. So this is 7 versus difficulty 4. So -3 or better. I'm almost tempted to take it up to -8. -4 or better. I'm going to do that. I'm not taking any chances here. I want to keep my beat cop. We're throwing all of these cards at this test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus our natural willpower of 3 takes us to 8 versus difficulty 4. That is fine. -2, place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. So we pass. Let's do the doom first. The nearest cultist enemy would be... Actually, 1, 2, yes. Yes, it is. So we place 1 doom on... was the name Victoria? Yes, it's Victoria Devereaux. And we increment doom by another 1 to represent that. Where was I? Gosh. So we committed this. We committed this. Guts replaces itself. Working a hunch. 2 resources for 1 clue. We don't know. Don't know what to do with that just yet. And we can return this to the discard pile. That is Roland's Crypt Chill handled. Wendy draws. I think that's both Crypt Chills now. I think there's only 2 in the deck. Locked door. So, place the locked door. Oh! I misunderstood the rules for... Not misunderstood, but completely misremembered. Revelation, attach to the location with the most clues. Of course, of course. Okay, well, whatever. Still would have been worth it for... I don't even know if there are any obscuring fogs in here. I guess there would be, because I don't think we have... Is there obscuring fog in this scenario? I've got it in my head that there is obscuring fog in this scenario. Anyway. What happens, happens. So this automatically gets attached here because it's the location with the most clues. And it doesn't have locked door. So we do want to grab those, so we probably will try to do something with that. If we're going to just hang out here and wait for the hunter to come to us, that might not be such a problem. Right then. Investigation phase. I didn't do this again. Oops-a-daisy. So I think... What do we want to do here? Roland. Add some ammo. Do we try to grab this clue while we're here? Can we have a fair few turns. I think we can. I think we can. Yeah, okay. Roland will spend an action and 2 resources and play extra ammunition. Place 3 ammo tokens on a firearm asset. So we suddenly have mega shotgun. We are going to investigate for this clue. I'm not going to commit anything. Might be worth playing resource cache. No, not yet. We'll have a go at grabbing this clue. So just -1 or better. I'm not going to commit. That is a 0. Grab that clue. And third action. Do I play resource cache or do I move up here? For similar reasons with regards to... This is why it helps to know your encounter decks. Once you are familiar with the scenario, knowing what's in the encounter deck is useful. I think we take this opportunity to play emergency cache. Sure. Strengthens our position. And Roland is just stayed on that location. If anything should cause him to drop clues in the encounter phase, for example, should he wish to pick them back up, lower shroud, and obviously just easier in general than what's going on over here. Wendy has some options now. She could actually try and deal with this. She can make her pickpocket, not pickpocket, her lockpick check with agility 4, and then she has a flashlight equipped. However, on the other hand, I am tempted to just click for cards where Wendy is concerned. Although, no, maybe not. There's a time and a place for that, and it might not be right now. We could spend an action to trigger a cultist even. Just get them on the board. Do you know what? Where are the 2 places where they can spawn? I think one spawns here, and one spawns here now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. First action, we're going to spend 4 clues. And draw one of these cultists. It is Peter Warren. Spawns at Miskatonic University. So, Peter Warren has the parlay option of spend 2 clues as an additional way to add him to the victory pile. I think Roland might just walk over there and point his shotgun at him, maybe send a warning shot across his head, and tell him to cough up the beans, so to speak. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. Second action. Wendy is now... We want to get these last 4 clues that we need to spawn the last cultist over here. The hunter is going to move here, basically, in the enemy phase. So that is out of bounds. Does Wendy head over here? She's not equipped to deal with this, so she's in a funny position. Given her situation right now, because I don't want her to move in here until Roland has moved in there, and these places are arguably useless for her at this point, Wendy is going to take this opportunity. What were your actions? You use this to spawn the cultist. I think I'm just going to click for cards 3 times. Is there any reason I shouldn't do that? No. Well, let's do it one at a time. Card. There's a knife. Card. There's Wendy's amulet. Card. And there's abandoned and alone. I kind of suspected that we were going to see that. I had it in the... yeah. Not surprised to see you, but at least we know that you're out of the way, and it's fine. All we're losing is emergency cash and cunning distraction, but we're not doing terrible for resources. I'm not too bothered about that. So we remove our discard from the game, as in this specific scenario, and then abandoned and alone goes in here, and we take 2 direct horror. We cannot put one of those horror onto Leo. That is strong though. Quite happy to have built my hand back up a little bit, and we've got both of our weaknesses out of the way. Roland's weakness is cover-up. I would hate. For Roland specifically, drawing cards right now is a massive liability. He's got everything he needs, arguably, with just these 2 cards. A heavily loaded shotgun, and the beat cop is all he needs. To the point that I may just, with Roland, try and kill this, kill this, kill this, and as soon as he's killed 1, 2, 3, 4, he's going to resign and bounce straight out to avoid the risk of dealing with the possibility of cover-up showing up. And I'll leave Wendy to maybe grab the... This could be a 6 cultist playthrough. I'm so excited. I've never done 6 cultists before. I mustn't get ahead of myself, and I mustn't jinx myself with premature celebrations. We've drawn our cards. No, we didn't draw our cards. Because we were drawing a bunch for Wendy there. I thought that was... I was in card draw mode. So that is the end of all our actions. It is the enemy phase. As a hunter, whoops, this now moves, and then would attack if it engaged with anybody. There are no more hunter types on the... You're not a hunter, are you? Of course you're not. There are no more enemies on the board that do things, so we move into upkeep. We got our actions back. Let's draw some cards for Roland. Let's Dynamite Blast. That might be fun to use just for laughs. Wendy is going to draw Burglary. Nope, too little too late really for Burglary right now. And gain a resource. But just as a card in hand, that's all I'm after for Wendy right now. I just want to build her hand up like this. We're into a new turn. I'm going to tick up Doom. Again, we have to do this before this hits 8. And we're going to draw some cards. There's only 6 left. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Roland first. Hunting Night Gaunt. Okay. Well, he has that, and that's going to get blasted with a shotgun, I assume. At the start of his next turn. Yes, it is a hunter, so we have to deal with it. Otherwise it'll just cause us headaches further on down the line. And Wendy will draw into Obscuring Fog. Where is Wendy? So, Obscuring Fog, no problem at this location. No problem whatsoever. Wonderful, wonderful. Go into some more investigations. I think, in terms of who is doing what, it is by far and away optimal here for Roland to go first. Yes. He is going to fight this Hunting Night Gaunt with his shotgun. What do we want to do here? We want to try, ideally, to do 4 damage in 1 turn. How does shotgun work? We are going to make a combat check, and we are going to test... we're going to see the difference between our final modified value and the difficulty test. So for us to do 4 damage, we need to have a final modified skill check value of 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. There's the 4 damage that we need to do to the Hunting Night Gaunt. So, assuming we need 7, what are we looking to... What's the likelihood of drawing? Ideally, let's target minus 2. So if we want to expect a minus 2 modifier to come out, we want to be at 9. We want 7 for the fatal damage, so if we expect minus 2, we want to be at 9. We are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for us to target that minus 2 token, we want to add 1 to our strength check. Of course, we can go overboard, but I don't think we do. It's tempting. I am tempted to go all in with the overpower here. What I don't want to do is spend all of my shotgun blasts on... I mean, if we get lucky, this is 2 shotgun bullets. 3, 4, 5. So we don't actually have... You're 3 health, you're 4 health. Wendy, you might have to chip in here at some point, my friend. Worst comes to worst, we can just get the knife out and start hacking once we've spent. I think we use shotgun as fast as possible then. We also have dynamite blast as an option, obviously. And we're building up our resources again. Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, okay. First action, we're going to attack here, and we will throw overpower at this. I'm not going to take any chances. I want to move swiftly. Combat 4, Combat 5, Combat 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 versus difficulty 3. So we are 7 over. So minus 3 or better would allow us to get the kill. That is a minus 3. Okay, so we passed, so we don't have to do the if, and minus 3 allows us to do the full 4 damage against the Night Gaunt, and it is defeated. And get rid of one of these ammo tokens. No clues together. As a second action then, Roland will move here. If we were to... We cannot gather a clue at the moment. Well, wait. It cannot be investigated. Ah-ha-ha-ha. We can gather a clue, as long as we do it outside of the investigation action. So, second action was to move this fellow. Oh, first of all, before we do that, sorry, I should finish what I was doing. Overpower replaces itself. We have a flashlight. And then the second action is to move into here. This engages us. This little fellow. Do I use shotgun here, or do I just smack away at him? I might just smack away at him. I think it's more fun to just blast him with a shotgun, though. It is. It's more fun to blast him with a shotgun. We're going to use another shotgun blast and throw it at his face. Do I commit anything to this test, however? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think we again go for minus 3 or better. So we're at 8 right now versus difficulty 2. It's another minus 3. We passed. 8 minus 3 is 5. And it's a combat difficulty 2, so we do 3 damage. So Peter Warren is defeated. He is defeated through violent means, which means that Roland gets to take one of these clues. Interestingly, at this point, Roland is now the prey target for the hunter, which I hadn't accounted for, because now, in the enemy phase, the hunter moves in and attacks. But I think we're in a position where we can tank some damage. I'm not too concerned about that. Wendy, what are you going to do? I think at this point, Wendy Not going to equip anything. I don't think we equip Wendy's amulet because it's pointless right now. Wendy will move over. Hi, Roland. Where have you been? Blah, blah, blah. They have a little chat. Second action. Wendy will try to get... No, she won't bother trying to get rid of this locked door. No, she won't. Why would she? I don't think we need to do that, to be perfectly honest. No, she doesn't. She does not need to do that. Okay. Second action then, for Wendy, she is going to draw a card. It's a flashlight. Third action, she is going to draw a card. I'm really looking for damage cards here. Nope. Am I missing something here? I don't think I am. Because this last clue, I think Roland is going to get just by killing the big monster here. I think that's how we grab that last clue. Wendy's just kind of waiting around, searching her wits, trying to figure out something that she can do. Rabbit's foot. Yeah, that's all useless. Where's my sneak attacks and my backstabs? Okay, enemy phase. This is a hunter type. It's going to move and prey on Roland because he has the highest amount of clues right now. And it is going to attack Roland. He's going to take 2 damage here and 1 sanity. So he is at 4 for both. He can take 4 damage of each and then he has to bounce out. Or he will be forced to bounce out as a very sad individual. With that in mind, we go into upkeep. And nothing to unexhaust. Let's give our actions a flip. And go down here. Roland draws into... Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Draws into cover up. We always see you cover up. My old friend. I think I'm going to ignore it. I think I'm going to ignore this. And just take the mental trauma going into scenario 3. I'm certainly going to put it on a back burner right now and see how we fare time-wise versus the difficulty 8 up here. Maybe there's some clues on a low shroud around somewhere. I'm trying to think what the shroud values are over here. I think this is 3, this is 3, I think. Anyway, that's very sad to draw into, but for obvious reasons. But we have 5 resources now. We actually can dynamite blast if we want to. Wendy, who's already had both of her weaknesses, draws Will to Survive. Fast, play only during your turn. Until the end of your turn, do not reveal chaos tokens for any skill tests you perform. Is there any possible way for Wendy to get up to 0 versus this? Difficulty 4. We could discard this card to get +2. That would take us to 3. And then add a knife. So we could guarantee 2 damage from Wendy by playing Will to Survive, discarding our knife, and committing a single combat token. That would do 2 damage, because we would not have to draw anything from the Chaos bag. Similarly, we could, I mean, we're not going to for reasons I mentioned, but it would also allow us to automatically get rid of the locked door without having to pull from the Chaos bag. It's a fun card, that. It's very fun. It's one of our new ones. And we gain a resource. And we're into the next turn. Whoa, we're flying along. Should we put a cut in here? Or not? Would that be nasty of me? No, I think this is a good place to put a cut in. Because once we have dealt with this fellow, who might take a little while, then we're just tearing around Arkham, mopping up, essentially. Yeah. I'm going to keep the videos leaning towards the shorter side rather than the longer side. I would rather they be 20-25 minutes than 45, 50 minutes, if that makes sense. So I will put a quick cut in here. I'll come straight back and we can fight ourselves a pig-headed, knife-wielding maniac. Sounds fun. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.